Like she said, I'm Elizabeth Minix, and she used to be my special ed director of Cooperative for several years. I have been in Bertha County for 23 years teaching deaf and hard of hearing, and a couple years ago I picked up another job of the gifted and talented. So I'm the gifted and talented teacher, deaf and hard of hearing teacher, gifted and talented coordinator, SLP coach,
preschool.
Well, I've kind of tried to step away.
Party planner. What else?
Name it.
I'm telling you.
So, Autumn, you want to tell a little bit about you?
Okay. Well, I'm Autumn Newsom. I started doing, I started out as an LBD teacher about 10 years ago, this August. And then about 6 years ago, I started the DHH job that I have now. So I serve 3 districts, not Letcher and Jenkins. And I work with kids with hearing losses, and honestly, it is such a rewarding job because they are our kids for life. We don't have to hand them off to somebody else and watch them go from teacher to teacher. They're ours forever, and I love it. I love it. I wish I'd have started it sooner, but I love what I do. So we've got a little something for you. We wanted to give the participants today an idea of how it feels to be deaf or hard of hearing in the classroom. So you're going to have a pair of phones. Right? Okay, not yet. We're going to put these in. Yes, and I think we can now, can't we? You can go and get them ready.
It's going to play a little video of sound.
Hi, Ashley, how's it going?
Good.
Is it not hearing?
Don't put your earbuds in. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I told them to, sorry.
This is the mild loss.
And what did you write or draw?
Well, I wrote something and I call it the random fact of the day. Would you like to hear it?
I'd love to.
Random fact of the day.
Here's the moderate loss. And that's with the severe loss children, usually here in the classrooms.
And this is not with background noise or
No,
anything added in.
So you can see how difficult and how important sitting up front, the teacher turning their face to them and all sorts of things.
That's what we needed the earplugs for. I made them jump ahead. I'm sorry, Elizabeth.
If you use slide.
Yeah. That's the next one.
Now you
Okay.
need the earplugs.
Now, so you had one earplug. So you're going to be a unilateral loss.
Yeah.
Everyone else is going to have bilateral loss. Let me get Michelle's sound. I'm already half dead.
She's giving me a hearing test. I really have mild hearing loss.
Same. This job showed me when I was actually training for this job. That's what I found.
I do, yeah.
Both rehab will pay for your hearing aids.
I know. I have to have them eventually.
They will.
In COVID, I did not realize how much I relied on lip reading until everybody had a mask on. I was like, I can't hear you. I'm like, what?
But even lip reading isn't reliable. We can talk about that.
Okay, Autumn, this is going to simulate in the classroom. Autumn is going to read a passage, and then you all will have questions afterwards to discuss and answer here. Hold on just one second. Hold on just one second. I want to try this.
Are they pulling those things? I didn't have my own.
Start now?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see my dart? Look at my dart.
Teacher,
His name pen. Hold on just a minute.
Hi. Can I go to the bathroom?
Not right now.
My belly hurts.
Sorry.
Teacher.
So sorry.
Teacher.
He is big and black. He can run fast.
Yeah.
We like to
Oh,
play outside.
Teacher.
We run and jump in the sun.
Teacher.
He likes me to play with him.
Teacher. What's got a booger in my nose?
Okay. What is the story all about?
Teacher.
What is the name of the dog?
Oh. Okay, now. Go to the next spot there.
By the way.
Oh, thanks. They told me to do that, guys.
Okay.
Okay, now you take your earplugs out. Oh, go back one.
Yeah, go back. So, do you want me to ask him that?
Yes.
Okay, so do you know what the story was about?
Lord, I missed it all.
Playing outside.
Was it all?
He did play outside. Good job. The name of the dog?
No clue.
Don't can tell you.
And the color.
Black. Oh, that's good.
Wasn't
Now.
irritating enough.
And two, like, I know some of you all probably teach older, like this would be good for elementary, but if you were like lecturing like an older class and they're up here at the board and they're turning and you're note taking, like it's impossible. There's no way they can hear what you're saying because they can't see your face. I did try to get behind you as much as possible, but so that's with a disruptive student, background noise, not being able to see the speaker's face. It's a struggle. And so, what was our next slide was our...
Oh, I'm going backwards.
Our,
I'll get the thing upside down.
So, say the word, you can just say it out loud or quiet. Say the word bounce.
Bounce.
Okay, now say the word pounce.
Bounce.
Okay, that looks exactly the same to a person who's deaf or hard of hearing. And there's a lot of other consonants that are the same way. But that lip reading alone you're going to miss a lot of information if you're depending solely on lip reading.
And a lot
And I
of
speak from experience when I say that.
well, and a lot of our kids, that's what they rely on is lip reading.
Yeah, the masks, that was a whole different type of obstacle. And the clear masks were good, but they fogged.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So hit that link there right now. Don't let it come to see your words. Now, could you tell what that was?
Bouncing. Did she say bouncing?
I wasn't even looking at it.
Play it again, Brenda.
She looked like she said now, but I don't think it's right.
I thought she said bouncing.
Oh, okay. So type it, what do you think it was?
She's from Fish Plate, but I don't even look at it.
Okay.
Bouncing?
Bouncing, okay, type it in there on that little. Okay, it's bouncy. I thought it said mountain. I like failed. I thought I'm a pretty good lip reader, and I failed every one of these. Okay, got the.
And I can't imagine if this were an Eastern Kentucky version. We got our own way of saying words.
Yeah, play it again.
True too, buddy. One more time.
All right, play it again.
You ready? No clue.
Any guess?
Try again one more
I
time.
think she said partaking. No.
You said that.
See, I thought it said market.
I thought it was something with the M.
So type
but I
market,
don't know.
see.
Yeah, I think it was okay.
Bucket. See, I was like, I can get it. All right.
That's good. Pilot.
Which one you want us to try? Basket or pilot?
Either one.
I thought we did basket. We'll do one more.
Bright.
Yeah.
Brag.
I thought brat. Brat. Yeah. Bright.
Right.
All right, see how hard it is, and even I've been doing this for a while, and I still can't. I wasn't even able to get it. Okay, so next. You want to read?
Yeah, I can read that. So some of the things to keep in mind is you want to make sure that you're close to the student. We use a test that goes from 3 feet to 12 feet, and in our experience, in 3 feet, one-on-one in an ideal environment, it's really important to have it, and we know that's not always going to be the case, but our kids do better when they're closer. So if you're more than 3 feet apart from that child, they're going to struggle. You don't want you want to be clearly visible. So if you're standing in front of a window, you wouldn't think it, but your face can be darker and it's harder to see your face. Also, if you're, like next to an air conditioning unit or something that makes a loud noise, you want to talk a little slower just so that you are making sure that child is able to keep up. And you can try to say the sentence another way if you don't think the child's understanding you. You want to speak clearly, you don't want to exaggerate it. I know with my dad, he's severely hearing impaired too, and I have to talk really slow and really loud, and sometimes it doesn't even work sometimes, so it's important to keep those things in mind.
Okay, we're going to do a lip reading activity. Since we have 3, you all can I think I gave you 2 the A's, so you can just take turns, and we can just do 5 of them if you want, since it's about time. And then you 2. Don't let your partner see if you're an A, don't let the B see your words, and vice versa. So, go ahead.
For the word and her mouth.
No, you mouth it. You do not use your voice.
Alright, you want to go first or me?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Make sure you use no voice.
You know what? I can be.
I bet. Okay.
And write down.
So I
Write down.
just,
Or y'all just do.
so I just mouth it.
Mouth it. Do not use your voice.
Okay.
Yes.
You guys ready?
Lisa, deaf person.
Write it down. I'm not supposed to say y'all think.
We're not saying that. Oh, she's gonna say it.
You are.
Oh, we're supposed to say it out loud.
I was gonna let you do it.
Oh, I will.
No, don't say that.
Don't say it out loud.
Ready?
You all just write down what you think it is.
Okay.
Alright, then we're saying.
Okay. I can't do it without saying it.
I have a space.
Just do 1 through 5. Paint? You're supposed to write it down.
Oh, I'm supposed to write my guess down.
Yes.
Why do I keep thinking everything's that word? I'm saying paint.
Oh, no, I don't. Okay, that word.
Okay, this is the last one. It's number 5.
I really am having to.
I don't think she said that.
Okay, now, did partner B
Oh,
already do
that
that?
was you all. Okay.
I'm trying
You wanna do it?
Okay.
Oh, no, you did.
I'm not mad. Well, you can
Okay. I'm gonna have to write my guess.
Okay.
Looks like
You said her word paint.
she said that every single time.
See, a lot of it looks the same.
Here's the actual word. At least she started off with this. It was really
See, right, you can't. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
close.
Am I like off? Am I so off?
Oh, shut up.
But we're gonna, I'm gonna show the slide.
It's my turn.
Are y'all finished?
Almost.
Okay. Girls, was it hard?
There.
Yeah, for sure.
They all said it the same. Or the same.
They're done, so we can say it out loud. I swear, I think it looks like pie.
Okay, let's look at, if you were partner A, here was the 1 through 5. Number 1 was Ship, Jim, Chip, Pump,
Chip was hard.
Mud.
They were all paint.
Oh, these were the words that was all paint for you? Champ? Did you all get any right over there?
Got one.
All right. Which word was it?
Chip.
Chip.
Oh, chimp.
Or chimp.
Chip. Never mind.
I didn't get it right.
No,
Chimp.
not chimp.
All right, let's look at partner B.
Oh, I got a man.
Bad, man,
Oh,
cat, bat, sheep.
She got two. She got two.
That's good.
That thing was paint.
Oh, everybody's paint for a mission.
It was.
Okay, here's the speech banana. Has anyone ever seen one of these before? Okay, so this is kind of like the audiogram, and it tells like the decibels and degrees of hearing. So here is the speech sound. Oh. The speech sounds you see. So here's normal, mild, moderate, severe, and profound. So basically, where's your speech sounds is in the of where they fall, and then you can see like the different, like a dog barking is at the moderate, profound, and severe.
And a lot of our kiddos fall in that mild to moderate, and if you have a child with a moderate loss, you're gonna know it. But how many kids probably fall like normal to mild and struggle, and you don't know, and they don't know?
Well, that's me. I'm mild smart, and I can't hear people talk half the time.
Yeah.
And I act like I can hear them.
Yeah.
Well, her you had low frequency.
Yeah.
You think like her husband talks quiet, and she says she can't hear him. I think she's just
And it's
ignoring him.
hereditary.
Well, and I miss a lot. Like, and people, I act like I can hear them, but I can't.
Oh yeah, you just nod along. Smile
Yeah,
and
I
nod will get you
And so
far in
if
life.
I do that as a 40-year-old,
Yeah.
how much does a kid do that?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they do it all the time. I've
And
had several
especially in
students.
acquiring knowledge, like acquiring skills that you need.
How much do they miss?
And I can speak for all of these in my personal experience with ears and the problems that I have alone. It doesn't compare to what our kids are going through, because a lot of them have this plus more. But it's important to keep these in mind that first of all, they're going to be very tired at the end of the day. With what loss I have, I'm exhausted after I talk to somebody and I have to tune out everything else. And a lot of times it makes them feel very isolated because they can't hear what their friend is saying, and other people can. And I know I've done that before. You just almost don't want to try it because you know you're not going to understand what they're saying. And definitely with the weakness in language arts, we talked about that earlier today, a lot of them will be weaker just because of the nature of their disability. But it's important to keep all that in mind that, if you have one that is going through that, to be able to provide supports for them and reach out to them. And sometimes they don't know they have a hearing loss.
Right. Well, I noticed, like number 2 is ear infections. Sometimes I've had several cases where I've tested a kid or a teacher said, I think they're having trouble hearing. And then I'll ask them, and they'll basically fail the test. And I'll say, have you been sick lately? Or then when I go to call the parent, they'll say, oh yeah, they're on antibiotics right now. Well, that has caused their loss. They can have a mild loss with the ear infection.
My son had to have tubes.
Yeah.
So the lip reading, you can see it's not easy. There's a lot of guessing. And so imagine that in, especially like a lecture type class, which is what a lot of our kids are exposed to, especially as they get older. It's going to be vital for the teacher to provide support, provide a handout ahead of time so they can have the notes just in case they miss some. And just keep it in mind how hard it is to rely on lip reading alone, because you have distance, you have background noise. There's a lot of things that can impact that child's ability to understand.
Y'all can just look over that.
Yeah, some of our kids, I don't have a child that needs an interpreter in my districts. I don't know if you don't have any, do you? That would just be like they are so deaf that they are only, relying on sign language, and they would have to have an interpreter for them. We don't have any of those right now. The bottom were the visual cues.
That's what's going to
Yeah, the sign language, we were just talking. A lot of my kids, when we're teaching sign language, they don't know why we have to make the faces, or, our face has to show our emotion. So when you ask a question, you can't look at them straight face because they won't know you're asking a question. You actually have to, do the eyebrows, do the face, do the whole thing so they know you're asking a question. or you're answering a question, or you're making a statement.
And especially if you're showing videos to the class, I have to remind teachers every year at the beginning of the year, I usually send out an email, like if they're gonna show a video, make sure they use closed caption so the student can follow along with it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Thank you for attending our session.
And even if they should